The night continues in Tarheel by dark as we join yet again the Prince's mansion in action here in Raleigh, North Carolina. Prince Josiah is back home, preferably safe and sound. Enzio and Woodrow have made the glorious save and they're about to get paid. And Woodrow has met another Tremere, one who has been pretty vocal about wanting the Duke of East Carolina in pieces. We join the scene as the two of them have stepped away from Biltmore's office to talk shop.
So, Miss Christina, I have a proposition.
I'm listening.
You want the Duke dead. I have secured with the Prince so that I have his blessing to become the next Duke. I do have to go before the Council of Dukes, but I will be doing so with his backing. It's very likely that I will become Duke there. I know that the Tremere holdings are mainly in the former Duke Tyson's area, and that after kidnapping the Prince and doing his nefarious deeds in the area, that there may be some blowback to the Tremere. I am willing to protect you and say that you had nothing to do, and that in my dukedom, no harm will come to the Tremere from the act of a rogue agent, so that there's nothing that will be overtly done to you and to your clan. I do require that your clan play a little ball. I would like to learn the first 3 levels of the Path of Blood and be taught an accompanying 3 rituals to go with that, and then any rituals that I learn beyond that are on me to learn, or would be another deal that I would have to make. In return, I would also be willing to teach whoever teaches me an equivalent amount of celerity so that they can be more combative.
She nods. And you notice that in her time as when the two of you left Biltmore's office there, you notice one of the Prince's aides actually handed her a assault rifle as she's looking over it while the two of you speak. We can play ball. I'm not entirely. I'm gonna be honest with you, Mr. Danington. I'm not entirely excited about the concept of teaching you our clan discipline, but at the same time, I'm also not particularly excited of the fact that Tyson might still actually be, walking.
I can tell you for sure that he was walking when last I found out about him, and I have visual confirmation that he is wearing the Sabbat Ankh. So if he's not stopped soon enough, your gifts will be taught throughout the Sabbat.
That's the problem. That's the last fuckers I need.
And I'm sure he won't stop at the Path of Blood with them.
As am I. Tell you what, I'm intending on going with you anyway. I'll cut you a deal. Both of us make it back. You got it.
Seems fair.
What I'll require on my end, though, is, a little fair play. You said we have to play ball. I'm going to hold you to the same regard. You're asking for my clan discipline. I ask for a degree of yours as well.
Woodrow will tilt his head. If I'm teaching you a degree of my clan discipline, then I will not be teaching celerity to whoever teaches me.
She nods. I did not expect this, so consider that a counteroffer.
How much of my clan discipline are you looking for? Most people wish for claws, as it makes them very aggressive. Is that what you seek?
That's all I ask for, to be perfectly honest, and it's not even so much as a bit of aggression, it's a bit of self-defense.
I agree. I will teach you claws for Pass of Blood level 3.
She nods.
And the accompanying rituals, obviously.
Oh, indeed. So about this operation, that this little coup that you have in mind here, what? Forgive me, but I'm a little. Enlighten me as to how you intend to pull this off.
I'm sorry, what? Destroying Duke Tyson?
Yes.
Well, we know that he's not just going to Tunisia. He is specifically going to an archaeological dig. I am a study of the kindred history, and I know that that is specifically where the last Bali War was fought, and Moloch, that was his last stronghold. And so I know the location as well as to where he will be, and I know that dealing with demons is not a quick factor, coupled with the fact that when he got there, he left earlier in the evening when it was still day in Tunisia, so his time advantage will be greatly shortened. We're going to leave immediately as it's cresting day here, and by the time we land, it should be night, so it'll put us on relatively even footing, and then it's just a matter of getting there and destroying the individual. I understand that Tyson is powerful, but my blood is gifted with a great degree of speed, and I am obviously well versed with my claws. And Enzo is extremely, extremely strong. So,
and once we get to them,
where is the old pizza mushroom twat anyway?
what?
and I'll look behind, and obviously Enzo's there.
Yeah, but I mean, like archaeological digs. That's like where all the old stuff is, right? There's usually ghosts around those things. I'll help you fucking find. I'm sure they know about whatever kind of Satan things are going on. Satan and ghosts, kind of go hand in hand.
I would say that there are definitely some ghosts from the fight with Moloch. It's very unlikely that there would be an infernalist ghost as they give their souls to demons. So more than likely, if we do find a kindred ghost, it would have been from the kindred, the positive kindred side that was there.
Yeah, I figured maybe they could tell us what we're in store for,
I think that's a very astute assumption, and what makes Mr. Giovanni such a great asset.
Oh, and also I'm really good with people. They wink.
She turns back around. She turns to you and she eyes you up and down for a moment. And you see she grabs a pistol off a tray that one of Josiah's aides is walking around the mansion with. And she hands it to you, handle first. You any good with one of these?
Yeah. Like I said, I know that magic trick where you point this at people and their head turns into confetti.
I would prefer it turn into mush, but there you go.
It's, wet, red, sticky confetti. I was just taking a little poetic license.
You're not a Toreador. Why are you going poetic?
'Cause, Italy, man. We're all poetic and shit.
Because
our names are like music.
Classic gentleman
sure you
wax poetic.
I usually just wax my Louis Ferrari.
She steps in a little closer. Now, I have another question. And you see, she grabs you literally in the crotch. The next question is if you're any good with this.
All right, I'll spend some blood and also activate Potence 5 directed onto my boner.
Okay.
All right. I don't know. It's been said. More than one woman has died at my loins, if that is any consolation.
Assuming we make it back in one piece, I expect you to prove it.
All right.
She slaps you playfully on the thigh. as she makes her way back to the, as she turns back to the game room. All right. That's all fine and well, but my question is, how do you intend on putting a stake in this son of a bitch? He's not very well, obviously, he's not very well going to stand there and take it.
You assume that I'm going to stake him. I'm going to rend him to pieces in one round and destroy him, or attempt to. It's all well and good to stake and interrogate and figure out, but we don't have that luxury, and I don't plan on letting him have the time to live.
What if you just simply tear him apart, Mr. Woodrow? He doesn't learn anything.
Well, I do consider myself an educator. I don't educate what I feel would fall on deaf ears. And anyone willing to sell their soul in a place tainted as that, leaving him time to be potentially tortured in his mind via superior aspects, reach out to some otherworldly being, is not something that I am in the business of allowing to happen. So, unfortunately, there will be immediate, violent death. No monologue.
Sounds like a plan. Plan I'm happy to be a part of. Shame no one else wants to come along.
Everyone else is fucking pussy.
She turns, and you would know about that, wouldn't you?
Damn right.
Smile
Also-
falls over her face as she chuckles lightly.
Also, Mr. Giovanni wanted to talk to you about, as you are an important ranking member of your clan, you have the option while we're there of whatever you'd like for your clanmate to do. If you'd like to see him succeed there and given a chance to prove himself, or if you'd like for him to die in the midst of the fight, that's also your option.
You refer to Ekman.
Yes, you can discuss that with Mr. Giovanni. I don't particularly care either way for Mr. Ekman. I think that his zeal for knowledge should be lauded, and I would like to educate him. But obviously, me and Mr. Giovanni are also okay with no one has domain in Tunisia, and therefore destruction is up to one's own purview. So you can discuss with him if you'd like for Dr. Ekman to disappear.
I've
And with
already
that-
been talking with Vienna.
With
They
that,
want him left. They want him left alive, but it's up to. But what we do with him is kind of our deal.
I have a suggestion that really worked, for one of my cousins back in the day, if you'd like to hear it.
Woodrow will put up his hands and he will say, "This is a dealing between you and whatever he may want to offer you in exchange for whatever he might want. He knows that I will assist him in that endeavor, so I will bid you both good night." And Woodrow will leave the scene. Thanks for the stuff tonight, guys.
All right. And as Woodrow takes his leave, she whistles seductively as she sees his body from the rear end.
Okay.
Well, Mr. Giovanni, what can we do for you?
Oh, no, I was going to say, I think what would be the best way, if you don't want to have me, rip your clanmate in half, you could do what my cousin, who was a little, overzealous with the magic, shall we say, what they did for him, where you just, you remove his arms and legs, and you put him in a library. I know that he's, able to move things around with his mind, so he could turn pages and stuff, but, he won't be so much of a nuisance. It'll be real easy to keep your eye on him. You won't be able to go around much, and I think he's with some gimpy Bruja, too, so they can, they can be wheelchair buddies or whatever.
Like I said, Vienna wants him left alive. It's up to asking me what I actually do with him once he is alive. I'll take it under advisement.
All right. Well, I mean, that's pretty much all I could think of right now. So, since you clearly want the D, why don't you let me take you out on the town?
I thought we were too busy trying to board a plane to go kill that son of a bitch.
Well, I assume that we're waiting for Mr. Woodrow, yeah?
Okay, but okay, but I'm telling you, if we don't make that plane flight, you're not gonna get a chance to use those nuts because I'm gonna rip them off.
Yeah. Listen, lady, much scarier women have tried.
She laughs. That's why I like you people.
I'm not kidding. My grandma, she's quite a savage.
Like I said, that's why I like you people. You people know how to have a good time.
All right, so where do you want to go? What's the best kindred club in this city?
I don't know. You asked me out.
Listen, I know that you probably don't eat food, so what I want to do is probably not the same as what you want to do. So, how about I have the girls take the scenic route, and we can have one of those Aladdin magic carpet ride moments. And he'll go and yell something through a microphone to the ladies at the helm of the helicopter, who will bank towards the Croatan district, and put on that "Let Me Show You the World" song over the speakers. So there's a news helicopter blaring "Let Me Show You the World" flying through the North Carolina skies.
Yeah, because that's normal.
You could switch over to the other seat if you want.
All right. Meanwhile, still there in the prince's mansion, we find Miss Aubrey. I forgot your character name. I'm so sorry, hon. We find Marquez Levitolia awaits the arrival. He's chosen to use one of the spare office rooms in the prince's mansion, an office room that he uses on a regular basis. A lively bluesy tune plays in the background, a little Miles Davis, if you will. There's the slight aroma of sandalwood incense burning, and the smell of a very fine Merlot wine permeating the room.
Witchy just Google Hangouts right now. What was
Yeah,
that?
I was going to say your audio was out. All right, he's sitting in one of the using one of the spare offices in the prince's mansion. There's a bit of blues playing in the background as you in the office. Little Miles Davis, Johnny Lang, something kind of in that vein. And there's the smell of sandalwood incense and Merlot permeating the room.
All right. Is it just him waiting there, or
It's just him. Just him.
Just him? Okay. There'll be a knock on the office door.
He's open.
And she'll walk inside.
As she does, she noticed that the gentleman behind the desk abruptly stands.
Mm-hmm. Hello there.
Good evening. I assume that you're this most beautiful creature that I've been hearing so much about this evening.
I suppose I am. It's good to know you very well.
He extends a hand across the desk. Mokez Laboratory. Not usually up around this area, but the whole Prince coming home bit kind of needed it.
That's understandable. It's a pleasure to meet you.
And you notice as you extend your hand that he takes it and he places a kiss on the top of it and bows before he returns your hand to you. And may I have the pleasure of what they call you, my dear?
Madeline. Madeline Grace.
Beautiful name for a beautiful face. Please, have a seat.
And she'll sit down.
I understand that you chosen to take up residence in my district.
Yes, if that's all right, of course.
Oh, well, of course it's all right. I have plenty of room to go around.
Wonderful.
Now, if you decide you're going to move out there, there is a couple things you need to know. Now, there is a major highway that runs down the majority of that particular part of the island, Highway 12. It runs down around the Buxton area, down where I'm from, and also down around where my domain, where the lighthouse at Cape Hatteras happened to be. Now, if you ever happen to be in the Boston area during this treacherous hurricane season that the state seems to be so plagued by, it's up to you whether you want to stay during the storm or not. But usually, if the storm is bad, that road tends to get washed out. And sometimes it's months before they can get back around and get it back open. Now, you can get on and off the island by way of boat, but the docking space is kind of limited unless you live on the island, you see.
Well, it's very informative. I'm not really aware of much of this area.
The only other thing I could think of right off the top of the dome is that now I do have a member of the Brewhouse that is in my domain, speaking of which I have yet to meet with the young lady, that need to remedy that, who has chosen to take up residence some distance away at the lighthouse on Bodie Island. Just be aware of that. And before one asked, yes, there's 1,000 different pronunciations of that word. I've heard it pronounced Bodie, I've heard it pronounced body, it's whatever you want to call it. As far as I'm concerned, it's my domain and it will remain safe. I could honestly give two flipping shits about what you call it.
All right.
And as I always like to act in the interest of fairness in politics, I'm going to ask what it is that you find yourself skilled in, and I will return the favor.
Well, I am a trained pianist, and I do dabble in theater, but my primary talent is in vocalists.
A musician. After my own heart, I play a bit of the upright bass myself.
Oh, really?
It's a talent I find is far, far lacking on this modern day. It's the primary reason why I even left New York. Bastards up there can't appreciate good music.
I take it you are very, very fond of jazz. Yes?
I find it suits my palate.
I used to do a bit of jazz back in the day. You know, lounges here and there. Mostly in Chicago, but...
Chicago, I've heard. Quite the exciting little boom town out there.
Oh, yes. Very, very exciting. Unfortunately, nowadays, from what I've heard, it's not even half of what it used to be. Hmm.
As I'm fine, my dear. You ask about my music taste. Like I said, jazz. I find jazz and blues both to be suited to the palate, but I'm not above throwing in a little Metallica, a little more sugar here and there. Kind of dictates the mood that I am.
Interesting. I'm also not opposed to modern music.
Normally I am, because there seems to be the passion in songwriting is lost so much these days. But every now and then you find somebody who really appreciates it.
Oh, yes. Most people nowadays just don't even care about talent or passion. It's all about money and what big corporations can make out of random people. It's all gimmicks now, honestly.
Well, we have to admit that the money is kind of a necessity. You see.
True, but when you completely forego talent or passion or concern for the art itself and make it only about the money, where's the art in that?
Ah,
It
but there
starts to
is,
run together.
there is where many miss. For the acquisition of money may itself be an art, for there are quite a few very, very successful and talented businessmen amongst our family. And besides, what better way to beat the venture than at their own game?
Very true.
Oh, by the way, do pardon me, ma'am. Where are my manners? Are you inclined to being able to take of the kind drink?
Oh, yes, I am. Thank you.
He pours you a glass and presents it to you, actually holding the wine glass correctly. A fine vintage, a very fine vintage indeed. Mr. Harry always comes through with me on these orders.
Hmm. Sure. A brief sniff of it before taking a sip.
It's suitably aged and suitably cool to the palate. Slight bit of a tingle.
Very fine indeed.
You better come through with it. I'll pay dearly for it. Now, I understand, or as I believe I understand, you are relatively new to the state, Miss Grace. Is that right?
Oh, very much so.
I will encourage you to meet with a couple of other members of the family. We seem to be coming out of the woodwork around here. The bushes and the vines seem to have never got trimmed. You catch my drift. There's a young lady out in the western part of the state you may want to speak with, Miss Amos. She's a she's a special woman indeed. You see, he trails off slightly. Oh, pardon me, I was chasing Roberts there. Mr. Harry Wallace also need to be also should be one for you to call upon, and Mr. Michael Day up in the Greensboro area. He enjoys his furniture building. Personally, don't see a whole lot in it, but it is what it is.
Hmm. I'll keep that in mind. Yes, I would very much like to meet others of our humble clan.
I'll see what I can do about arranging a meeting. I should be able to get Miss Amos within a couple of nights. But like I said, we do have a particularly big stake here, so it may be a few hours travel between districts. You understand?
Understandable. I have time. I have all the time in the world.
All right. And now to one of the bigger matters that needs to be addressed. With you being in the Croatan district, it's customary for me to offer you a bit of domain if you are at all interested. And now let me tell you, as far as the political scene go here, you trust me, you are interested.
Ooh. Well then, of course.
Now, where you choose to take that domain, of course, is entirely up to you, assuming that domain does not encroach upon any that already exists, namely my own district as well as the lighthouse at Bodie Island.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, I will tell you up in my area, there seems to be the area of Jockey Ridge. It's a tourist trap up in that area. The one makes me a whole lot of money. But unfortunately, I'm relegated to having to share it with the damn virtual. So that one's kind of off limits. But most everything else is pretty much free reign.
Perhaps someone will have to give me a tour of the area and perhaps help me make a decision.
Indeed, they may. Indeed, they may, Miss Grace. Have you had the pleasure of speaking with Mr. Giovanni by any chance, Mr. Enzo?
Oh, yes, I have.
He and I have a bit of a working relationship. You see, he's right below me down in the New Hanover district. He seems to we have a bit of a very strong understanding, if you understand what I mean. Perhaps I should hook the two of you up so he can give you a private aerial tour.
Hmm. Yes. I will be right back.
All right. Enzo, your phone rings.
Yo, I'm a little bit busy with a lady in a helicopter.
Yeah, Mr. Enzo, and if you do me a favor, you can be busy with another lady. I will give you a number of favors for this, but I have a beautiful young creature in my office right now that is in need of a private aerial tour of the midst of the Croatan district
Oh
sometime in
yeah.
the next couple of nights.
All right. Well, I'm leaving pretty soon, but I guess that's doable. I don't think I'm leaving tomorrow. I guess I could do it tomorrow.
All right, sounds like a plan. Now, I'm
Unless it
assuming you'll
needs to
still
be
gonna
right
be
now. I
able
guess
to.
I could come pick her up
Oh
right
no,
now,
no,
but I
no,
mean,
no,
like,
no,
there's
no.
another lady in here. It might be a little awkward.
Oh no, no, no. You're busy. You're busy. I understand that. I understand. I'm not gonna. What is it? The kind say cock block. I think is the proper term.
Oh, it's so vulgar.
I'm a vulgar kind of guy. You should know that.
That's why I do business with you.
But yeah, we'll talk. I'll get you some. I'll get some resources sent your way.
Yeah, all right, right on. Yeah, no problem. Like,
Speaking of resources, my cousin that you've been with, she's working out pretty good.
oh, good,
Catching
good.
on, catching on real quick.
Yes, I knew she'd make the family proud.
Yeah, couple of days, couple nights from now, whenever you think you can do it, just give me a call. I'll get the two of you into somewhere where you can meet each other.
All right, sure. Why don't you give her my number?
All right, can do, Mr. Enzo, can do.
All right.
Actually, you know what? We've always had a good working relationship. I tell you what, I'll go ahead and hook you up now. Let's say, what is it your bank account number was under again? What was the name? I always forget these things.
Oh yeah, Rocco Putinesca.
Ah, Rocco. Okay, there he is. All right, let's go ahead and transfer that over right now.
There would be like a little pause, the sound of a notification on the phone. Oh, beautiful.
Like I said, you see that and take that. You do what you see fit with.
Sure thing, Marquez. Thanks, buddy. Hey,
All
you
right,
wouldn't
now.
be interested in going on a possible suicide mission to Africa, would you?
Now, why in the name of God would I want to go to Africa?
Well, there's like all kinds of different types of music over there, and different type of people and art and all that. I know you're into that kind of thing, and also there's apparently like a renegade wizard, Tremere guy who's fucking up the whole.
Whoa, Tremere. Are you asking me what I think you're asking me?
Well, I'm asking you if you want to come help stop a known infernalist from coming back and murdering our prince and princess child.
Mr. Portnaska, I'm going to ask you a very serious question. What the fuck do you think I'd want to do?
Well, that's kind of why I was
If you're
asking. I
talking
wasn't
about-
sure.
If you're talking about Tyson, my ass is the shivers on the plane.
Oh yeah, Tyson, of course. What did you think I was talking about? What other Tremere, like Diablerist, not Diablerist, diabolical, demon worshipping assholes do you know?
That is Tremere. Trust me, they're all diabolical demon worshiping assholes.
Oh, well, then we should really do something about that. And I think this lady in my helicopter right now might be trying to, diabolic me.
That sounds like a personal problem, Mr. Enzo. Remember, you can't be good at it.
I mean, I'm good at everything.
Well, of course you are.
That's what I was bred for.
You enjoy your evening there, Mr. Enzo. Like I said, don't get caught doing that now.
All right, hey, you enjoy your evening as well, and we'll be in touch.
We'll do, sir. We'll do, bud. We'll do.
All right. Cheers.
With that, the phone is hung up, and you see, Miss Grace, you see a business card get pulled from Marquez's pocket, as well as a very nice ink pen, where he begins to scribble something on it. He slides the business card over to you. This is a contact of mine, Mr. Enzo. He's agreed to do me a favor and take you up in his private chopper a couple nights from now so you can get to lay of the land.
Oh, that's very sweet of him. Thank you very much.
Now, I am going to ask you, however, to tell you the same thing I told him. Don't get caught doing nothing I wouldn't get caught. I wouldn't do.
Oh, of course not. Me.
Oh, it's not you I'm worried about, my dear. It's the man on the other side of the chopper.
I understand.
Now, before we call it a night, because we've all had a bit of excitement, and we probably all need to take a little siesta. Was there anything else that you needed of me?
Not at the moment. However, if anything comes up, I will be sure to let you know first thing.
Very well. Now, if you will. He rises as he shows you to the door.
Again, it was a pleasure to meet you.
As always, with you as well, madame. With you as well, madame.
I'm sure.
And as you take your exit, you hear something in French. If your character speaks it, then you can translate. But the English translation ends up being, "My, what a beautiful creature I have here."
She does not speak French, so.
And with that, we bring our evening scene to a close.